Hi, okay, now I'm going to start part 2 of the LAMA technique. The first A in LAMA stands for acknowledge. Now, it's pretty simple when you say thank you to someone. That's an acknowledgement. Or if someone says to you, thank you, and you say, you're welcome, that's an acknowledgement. People use no problem now. I don't like that expression, but it is also an acknowledgement. No problem. Well, that kind of looks like it was a problem, but you made it no problem. I don't like that one. I much prefer the old-fashioned way. You're welcome. Of course. So it expresses thanks. You want to recognize and answer a greeting or a statement of some kind from the business person you're talking to. This could be your boss. It could be anyone. Now, if you look at the bottom box there, this is what I want you to write down under acknowledge. Use words like, yes, okay, good. Oh, all right, I got it. Exactly. Terrific. Oh, I apologize. Right. No, I'm so sorry. Now, my favorite one is always exactly, because it doesn't mean anything. Isn't that funny? That word actually doesn't mean anything. When you say exactly, it just means they said something exactly. It doesn't mean they're right, but they may think they're right, and so it's going to make you feel better. Because what you really want to do, and look at that square on the left side of your handout, letting the other person know you heard and understood. Now, you could go to 10 shrinks and psychiatrists and psychologists and people who teach things in communication skills, and you will find out that the most important thing that you could ever do is let the other person know that you heard them, that you understood them. That's why people have to go to marriage counselors, because one party does not acknowledge the other party. It's always like you don't understand. Oh, Jimmy said that to me once. He said, no, you don't understand what I said. And I said to him, I said, Jimmy, I understood perfectly what you said. What I didn't do was agree with it. And that's why you asked me, you told me I didn't understand it, right? And he goes, yeah, that's right. In other words, people want to be gotten. I can tell you that when he died, he passed away, and I went to a big party of a reunion, a class reunion. And when I got there, this other lovely lady that I knew very well, she came up to me and said, where's Jimmy? Now, she did not know that he had passed. So she says to me, oh, no. I said, Jimmy passed away. And she goes, oh, no. And she took a pause and a deep breath, and she said, he really got you, didn't he? Well, that made me cry. Of course it was. We had a great relationship because he got me. That's what this is about, an acknowledgement, not an agreement. Now, some people are worried there that I'm telling you have to agree with somebody else. You don't have to agree with them all the time, but you definitely need to acknowledge what they said. So if a customer calls in and they've got a complaint, you've got to acknowledge it. They hardly ever call in to tell you how wonderful you are. I know that's true. They don't. I wish they did, because the customer service reps across the world take the heat for the whole company, and they never get acknowledged near enough. They should be getting flowers every day on their desk, because they take the upsets. By the way, we'll have a whole class on upsets one of these days too, all using how to use the LAMA to do it. All right, so under acknowledge, you have written the following: letting the other person know you heard and understood, and using small words and phrases. I have one more thing to say about it. After you acknowledge, be sure that there's an exclamation point at the end of that acknowledgement, or a period. In other words, don't say, okay. Now, that may be a running acknowledgement, but if you're going to say okay to someone, say okay. I get it. Okay. You did the right thing. I always love that one. I teach it to customer service reps for years, and they would always say, whoa, no one ever said we could say that. I say, you sure can. You say right to that person, I'm so glad you called. You got the right person. You backed the right horse. I know this stuff. This is where I live. I understand it. And if I don't know it, I'll find someone who does. Okay, what's your account number? I mean, I could go on, but acknowledgement, no one's acknowledging the customer anymore. They're not. And the machines sure don't know how to do it. Anyway, people need to be acknowledged. And if you don't acknowledge them, they are going to get angry with you. Now, right after you acknowledge them, oh, wait, I've got to go back a minute. So this is the end of part 2, the acknowledgement. The most important 2 things here are that your customer wants to be acknowledged and that you absolutely can acknowledge them if you give up the judgment call and instead you just let them know that you heard and understood. You understood what they were going through and that you gave them an expression, a word, a phrase, a statement, something that said, I got it, I got you, you did the right thing, you called the right place, you backed the right horse. Don't be afraid to say that you are the one who can help them. Okay, that's the end of acknowledgement. Now let's move on to making a statement.